Hello and welcome. Microsoft loves Linux, and we are going to learn to deploy Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, MDE for short, on a Linux device using an automated scripts. And in this exercise, we will use a Red Hat Enterprise Linux server. And if you haven't seen it yet, I went over how to deploy Microsoft Defender for Endpoint on Linux manually using a series of commands. Also, I believe I haven't mentioned this, but everything I am doing in this video recording, I have also written that and made it available to my GitHub repository. So please check the description of the video for more detail. So in this exercise, the following will be covered. We'll download the onboarding package from the Microsoft Defender portal, and I will copy some files from our local system to the Linux server to onboard the device to our Microsoft Defender for Endpoint tenant. And we'll install Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and simulate the download of a malicious file. So we're going to download the ecar file, which should be detected and quarantined by Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So let's do this. So in here, the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to connect to the Linux device. And I already loaded everything into the clipboard, so it's a matter of just accessing the clipboard and then pasting all of the command. So the first thing that we're going to do is to connect. So it's gonna go by SSH, and then the username and the IP address of the device we're connecting to. So when we run that, we are connected. And the next thing that we're going to do is to run hostname CTL. And the reason why I'm running this is to get basic information about this device so I know what package manager I should be using. So in this case here, you can see that the OS of this device is Red Hat Enterprise. So I'm going to use the YAM package manager. So really quick, what I'm going to do as next step is to update the system. So I'm going to run sudo yum update, and also I will do sudo yum upgrade, and this to ensure that this device is fully upgraded or updated. So I'll run both like that. And once this is done, the next thing that we're going to do is to transfer the onboarding package from the local system to this system here to the Linux device. But before we do so, we need to download the onboarding package. And where you go and download that, it's going to be from your Defender portal, and you have to go to settings and then endpoints and then onboarding, and then you have to select the OS type, so it's going to be Linux server. And then for the connectivity types, select streamline, and then select local script, and then you can download that. I already downloaded the onboarding package, so I don't need to download that it once more. So I will skip that, and then let's go back here. So what is the next command that we're going to run after we download that? So we can run the SC copy so that we can transfer the onboarding package, and then another SC copy so that we can transfer a batch command that contains all of the command that we need to run to onboard this device. So now on my Windows device here, I'm going to transfer two files from this device to this Linux server that I'm trying to onboard to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So now um, I'm going to use the secure copy command, and the first is to transfer the onboarding package. And actually, when I look at the content of the um, user home directory here, actually, I do have some file, but I am going to actually get rid of them so that I can start from scratch with fresh uh, files. So let me get rid of everything. So now when you look at it now, I don't have anything. So I'm gonna come here and then transfer this. This is the first file I'm going to transfer. Oh, mistyped my password, so I need to enter the correct password. So, and the second file I'm going to transfer is actually the bash script to that is going to run to onboard the system. So I'm going to run that as well, and then give my password. Hopefully I type that correctly this time. So everything is good. So I should have two files here transferred, and I have these two files. So now the next thing that I'm going to do, this is the bash script. So actually, if you want to look at the content of this bash script, you can cut that, and then you can see it's right here like that. But now this is not going to run unless I turn this into an executable. So I need to turn this into an executable, and then that's what I'm going to do next. So next, let me clear the screen, and then I'm going to change the permission on this file to turn that into an executable. So, and it was installed, so I'm going to do that. And now when I do that, you see that the file turn into color green. That means that now it's an executable, and then I can effectively use this file to onboard my system to MDE, to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So I'm gonna run that. And as you can see, it's gonna fetch the installation batch script from GitHub and get the correct repository. And in my case, in the batch script, so I'm targeting the production channel, so that's what it's going to use, and then it's going to install MDE. And actually right now when you look at it, it's installing MDE, so we have to wait till it completes with the installation of MDE. And once this is done, we're going to simulate the download of a malicious file on this system. So we're going to download the ecar file. Ecar is not really malicious, it's just a test file to assess the antivirus solution on your system. So when you download that, Microsoft Defender for Endpoint with real-time protection turn on should detect the file and automatically quarantine it. So that's what we're going to test once we have Microsoft Defender for Endpoint configured on the system. So we have to just wait for about a couple more minutes, and then it should be done. It doesn't take a long time. So see, it's already done. So now, being this is done, what we're going to do next, actually, let me refer back to the command I loaded into the clipboard. So we're going to look at the status of real-time protection. Right now, you see it's false. Actually, I ran the command to show that it's false, but also you can run a MD ATP to look and health to look at actually the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint configuration or installation status on this device. And you can see that real-time protection enabled here is false. And also one thing that you have to look at is the org ID. So it starts with 04 and it finishes with 8 and 3. And that is to tell you that this device is onboarded to this organization, to this MDE tenant. And how do we verify that? So remember, begins with 04, finishes with 8 and 3. So now when I go into the MDE portal, and then I'll go under Microsoft Defender XDR, and I look at the org ID. So you can see here that I have the same org ID. It starts with 04, and then it finishes with 8 and 3. So now I know this device is onboarded to the correct tenant. So now, but remember that the value of real-time protection was set to false. So now we need to turn that into true so that we can detect malicious artifact, and then MD will take actions against any malicious artifact on the device. So that's what we're going to do next. And actually, let me look at the next command here. So it's going to be this one here. So it's going to be the value. We have to set the value to now for real-time protection to enable. So I'm going to run this command. And now when you look at the real-time protection enable value, it was false before, now it's true. So now what that means that if we try to download anything that is suspicious, malicious on this device, it's going to be detected by Microsoft Defender for Endpoint, and it's going to be quarantined. So now the command to download a malicious file will be here, the ecar file. And this is just a test file to test your anti-malware solution on a system. So we're going to run this, and it's going to download that. And then when we look at the home directory of this user, you see that the file doesn't exist. That means that Microsoft Defender for Endpoint saw the file, detected it as malicious, and quarantined the file. So now the way that we are going to view what the file is to run MDATP threat list. And then when we do that, then you can see here that the file was detected as malicious right here as a virus, and then it has been quarantined by Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. So now the device is fully onboarded to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. We can go into the portal to look at the device onboarding status. So we can go under asset and devices, and we can see that the device is onboarded. As you can see here, we have lab, and then the device name RH and EMN, and then dead.lab as the domain name. So remember this name here, we're going to check the same thing on the device itself by running host name, and then the fully qualified domain name, and it's the same thing that we find. So it's the same device onboarded to the tenant that we just checked. So we have the correct device. And now if we go and we look at the alert in regards to the ecar file right here, so you can see that Microsoft Defender for Endpoint detected ecar as a malware on the device, and also prevented the execution or quarantine the file on the system. So you can see that as well here. And one thing also that we can look at on this device, now I want to go back up here. So you see, we set a tag for this device to be MDE management right here. Here's the tag. So now when we go to the portal itself and we look at the device is right here. So you can see that uh, I gotta refresh this. I just wanted to look at the tag name. Okay, I don't have the tag name just yet, but it's going to be reflected later. So, but this is what we did as an exercise. So, in summary, did we do, and what did we really accomplish? So, we onboarded a Linux server to Microsoft Defender for Endpoint using an automated script, and we also tested Microsoft Defender for Endpoint detection and remediation capabilities by downloading an anti-malware test file, so the ECAR file specifically, and the file was immediately quarantined. So it was detected by Microsoft Defender for Endpoint quarantine. So the next thing that we're going to do is to explore the deployment of Microsoft Defender for Endpoint on Linux devices using Ansible, where we will be targeting a group of devices to onboard. Thank you so much for your time.